and welcome into Chapter 9 Book Club. I am Rachel Polanski. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm joined with the lovely Christina Galvin and special guest today, Kate Thornton.
Hello.
There we all are. So thanks for joining us. Today we are digging in to a genre that I just kind of started reading a couple years ago, and I always was very intimidated by this genre. And someone suggested I read the book, which we'll talk about in a second, and I did, and now I love this genre. And I think Kate is kind of similar. She's dipped her toes in, and this is Chrissy's first time, so we are talking fantasy. And today we're talking about Fourth Wing. So you start, Chrissy, as someone who never read fantasy before. This was your first taste. What did you think?
Sure. And of course, like it was recommended as like the book to dive into, Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. And am I saying it right? Rebecca Yarros? Yeah. Yep. And I really enjoyed it as a first fantasy book. I think that was an absolute success. Not too much of like, I was thinking like Lord of the Rings meets Harry Potter meets like some love fest, you know?
That's kind of what it is. It's like Hunger Games meets Harry Potter.
Hunger Games
meets
yeah.
House of Dragon and Game of Thrones, all kind of put together.
Be like juvenile with sex scenes put in there, and I'm like, how does that work? You know?
They figure it out. They certainly figure it out.
No, it was. I did the audiobook version, and I'm really glad that I did because it was a fantastically told.
Did you do like the fully immersed audio experience?
I don't think so.
Okay, because there is a version of that on Audible. Yeah, it like I've never done it, but I have friends, and it's like it's a whole different experience.
Yeah, no, I did not do that, but I did really love the main character narrator. Such a good. Yeah, I don't know who it is, but shout out to them because it was very entertaining.
Is it Teddy Hamilton? He plays
the male is.
The male
yes,
is.
But whoever played Violet Sorrengail.
Oh, now I'm gonna look it up because I'm curious.
Yeah, so I agree.
I will say, if you're hesitant like me about wanting to get into fantasy, this was absolutely the right book. And Rach, you tend to go towards the more like audiobook, but you physically read this and said that you couldn't rave enough about it.
Yeah.
And that you couldn't put it down. And it's a long book. They're all long.
Yes. So they're all long. And I think that's also what's a little bit intimidating about it is you see it. And I think the audio version even says like 24 hours or something. And you're like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
24 hours.
Yep.
But it's a whole new world, right? So for people that are not familiar,
Literally.
she literally has to, she's creating a world. So the first like 10 chapters, you might be a little bit lost. And that's why I always tell people like, stick with it, get through those first 10 chapters. There's a lot of characters, there's a lot of names. But she's just kind of immersing you in this new world. And then once you understand the world, and in this case, this Empyrean fantasy. I want to say, too, I read this 2 years ago, so I don't want to give any spoilers, because then I read Iron Flame and then Onyx Storm, so I'm like, where did this book end?
Yes.
But yeah, it's such a good book, and then you become really invested in these characters, and like now that I've read all three, like I'm so immersed in it, it doesn't seem that daunting. Yeah. So I think that's part of it, too. But yeah, so for me, I know we're going to get into all the details in just a minute, but I'd have to go check my Goodreads, but I think I gave it 5 stars because this was my first fantasy book, and I just loved it. It checked all the boxes for me.
Yeah, I know for a fact that it's not my genre, so I try to be a little easier on genres that aren't mine because I feel like it's skewed, you know? Like, if I could give Frida McFadden 5 stars for stuff that's like, man, then give this one only 3, that's so unfair. That's a race where you're tying the back of the one of, instead of, put weights down on them. So I give this like a 3.5 star for my overall taste, but the way it was written, it definitely deserved a 5. It was so, the way it drew you in, and very descriptive sometimes, I will say that, but tied together very well. It was it was appropriately inappropriately written, like it tied into the right moments.
I don't think I've ever heard that before. Yeah. That's perfect, though.
Like it's dirty, but it made sense because it tied in, like when you're watching a movie and see just a random sex scene, you're like, oh, why did that go in there for? And
right, it didn't seem unnecessary.
Yes,
right.
So Spice Factor,
it was very necessary.
As to quote Kate, Spice Factor. It was up there. But this was a great tie-in to talk about another fantastic bookshop that just recently opened up in our area in Camillus. It is called, oh my goodness, I can't, we've gone
Divine
to it.
Realm.
Thank you. We've gone so long ago, and we've been waiting for the perfect opportunity to show off Divine Realm. We had the chance to catch up with the book shop owner, who was super excited to make a career shift in order to open up this bookstore. So, Rach, take it away.
When you venture into the heart of Camillus, you will find this gem of a bookstore, Divine Realm Books, and oh my goodness, are we excited to introduce you to all the good things that are inside this store.
Yeah, if you're into fantasy, this one is for you. I am joined now by the owner, Karen. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for being here.
So first, tell us, you're relatively new, just when you opened up shop, and why you wanted to have this bookstore in Camillus.
Well, I opened about 6 weeks ago on Black Friday, and I wanted to open a bookstore. It's always been my passion. I've always been a big reader. I am a registered nurse, and I just find that reading and books and serving the community is just another way for me to care for people.
So why fantasy? What made you think that out of all the genres that fantasy was what you wanted to pursue?
Well, fantasy is probably my favorite genre, so that's probably reason number one. Reason number two being fantasy has a lot of fandoms. The readers are very enthusiastic about each book coming out and want all the accessories that go with it.
And so for me personally, I just kind of started delving into fantasy. So I read the Fourth Wing series, Rebecca Yarros, and I started on A Court of Thorn and Roses. I'm not quite there yet. So for those out there that are hardcore fantasy, she's got all of those, but she also has, for the beginners, some of those as well. So kind of touch on that whether, you love this genre or you just want to tiptoe into it, you have it.
So fantasy has many subgenres.
Sure.
So I feel like A Court of Thorns and Roses and Fourth Wing are romantasy, and a lot of people do start there. There's also cozy fantasy, so stories about bookstores that have whimsical stories behind them. There's also dark academia. There's urban fantasy, so there's so many different places to start. And then I feel when you get to epic fantasy like Brandon Sanderson, I feel you've been into fantasy for a long time and you've graduated.
I love that. So someone that is very new to fantasy, it almost seems overwhelming on where you want to start, but what would you say to someone that's brand new, just wants to check out your bookstore, but has never picked up a fantasy book? Which one would you recommend?
So I have recommended recently Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I feel like that's a really good place to start. It feels like it takes place in our world, but it's similar to our world. And it's kind of an easy foray into fantasy.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And what kind of feedback have you received so far?
I've had all positive. The neighborhood has been very welcoming. The other businesses here on Main Street have been very welcoming and helpful. And then people who come in who just want to see what's going on, they'll say, oh, well, I'm so happy that there's a bookstore in Camillus. And they might say, well, fantasy's not really my thing, but I have a coworker or a friend or a family member who would love this place.
Yeah.
So,
and it's all word of mouth, right?
So far, yeah.
And not only do books make great gifts, but you have a lot of other really cool items in this store, between candles and bookmarks. Where do you get the sources and maybe the ideas of bringing them into your store? Like, what's the inspiration? Because a lot of them are fantasy themed, I've noticed.
Yeah, so I just try to find everything through wholesalers that go along with the books, the things that I think that people would like, things that I would like myself.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I also like this shelf over here that we'll talk about that has some local authors, which is really cool. And I even see that they're signed. Why did you think it was important to incorporate, Central New York-based authors?
Well, essentially, I'd like this store to be a community place. And if I don't have local authors, it's not really, can I really say it's community-based? So for my opening, I did have an author, Laura Livingston Snyder, come in, and she was here signing her books. And then I have another signing coming up in March for Marissa Loretta, and she has written and illustrated her own books, so I'm excited to have her here. And then we have another author from Skaneateles, and he is a lawyer there in Skaneateles, and he writes short stories and asked me to have his books available, so
awesome.
Happy to do that.
That's super cool. Where are you hoping that the bookstore develops over the years? Obviously, you hope that it, continues to thrive, but is there any other events that do you want to bring in more authors? Are you hoping that people join book clubs? What are your goals?
All of that. So I'd love to have more local authors come in and do signings. I'd like to have some events like book clubs. I'd like to do some events bringing people in maybe quarterly to do bookish crafts or things to make and do based on their love for books.
Yeah. And a lot of the places we go to, they talk about just the 5-year plan. Like, what are you hoping this becomes? And you kind of touched on it there, but are you hoping that this will be just a place in the community that people can come, not like maybe read books here or host their book clubs here, or just are you hoping it really becomes a community beacon?
Yes, I would like everyone to come in and see themselves on the covers of these books. I would like people to come in and help themselves to our beverages and have a nice time sitting at the tables and either reading or doing their work or just feel comfortable being here.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, we are so excited for you, and we wish this bookstore and all the amazing books in it the best of luck. So thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Divine Realm Books in Camillus.
Well, there you have it. We had so much fun checking out Divine Realm Bookstore in Camillus. We wish her the absolute best of luck. And if you just go in there, my final thoughts is, my goodness, that was such a beautiful bookstore. Kate and Rachel can attest to this. Fantasy books just have the most beautiful cover art to it. And I just absolutely loved all the books. If I were to judge a book by its cover, I would think every single one of them is going to be beautifully done, because my goodness, the cover art was just incredible. It was just fun to walk around. For somebody that is not the biggest fan of the genre, I was just ready to get a book just for the sole purpose of enjoying what was on the cover. And I will say, fantasy books really, I could see the appeal because it's just a fun escape.
Yeah. And I also like she has merch too. So there was some really fun like Zayden merch or Violet merch, or if like ACOTAR is more your thing.
I have a friend who has a Best Guy at College sweatshirt that she wears very often out in public.
Cool.
And all, yeah,
I will say, I grew up a Harry Potter fan, so I thought that I'd be more into this stuff. But
this is no Harry Potter.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
It's a new world. It's
Yeah,
really a new world.
it really is. But when we come back, I am so excited to dive into this new world and all the ins and outs. And I will say,
Wait, quick though, Kate, what did you give it?
Easily 5-star. Easy.
5?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. So
Hands
me and
down.
Kate are 5. So Chrissy, you're out of the loop on this one. Sorry, girl.
personal taste 3.5, but I do real recognize real. That was a really, really good, very well written book. I will say. So
On that note, much more when we come back. Hello, and welcome back to our Chapter 9 book club. There we all are. Kate, Rachel, and Chrissy with you today. We are talking Fourth Wing, and we're talking just fantasy in general. So this was Chrissy's first time with fantasy. Kate and I both like the genre. I just got into it myself a couple years ago. I was surprised how much I liked it, because when I heard fairies and dragons, I'm I don't know if this is for me. But it's not what you think. You really have to go into this genre with no preconceived notions. And I love this book, and I think this is the perfect way to dip your toes into fantasy. And I think even the bookshop owner we talked with said the same thing.
Yeah, and I'd have to agree. I really like the it did give me a lot of Hunger Games vibes, but just a big dive in. One of the first relationships. That was one of my favorite parts of this book, because there were so many different types of relationships. People that loved each other, people that hated each other, people that hated each other, then ended up loving each other, people loved each other, and then so much going on. Let's first talk about, above anything, family to Violet Sorrengail is extremely important. She kind of hits that from the get-go and describes what her family is like. You know, her mom's General Sorrengail, her father was a scribe. She thought she was going to be a scribe. Her brother and sister were destined to be warriors, and then there's her, you know, and she's trying to figure out her identity from the very beginning, and that's pretty much relatable to anybody trying to, you know, find their way in this world or her world, you know.
Yeah, and I think too, I like, which is different, is that she's not like this super strong heroine that you first think of. You know, she has a fragile body. She must survive these deadly trials, and you know, this ruthless wing leader, who of course is Xaden. But I like that part too, because it's not like your typical heroine. Like I think they painted in such a way that it could be like any of us, like stepping up to the plate.
Yeah. She had such a modest beginning. She didn't even think she was going to be, you know, thrown into the position that she was in. Like, she thought she was going to be a scribe like her dad. But they show off, you know, how smart she is, because she was, you know, thought she was destined for one path, but here she is being thrown into. She like kind of has like imposter syndrome when she first starts out. So I thought that was really cool.
And just the way of her just trying to prove it to herself that she can do it, while also but like, well, I guess I kind of have to do it as well because mom's making me, you know, type thing. So feeling that dynamic there as well, and then just kind of going forward with what you feel like you should be doing versus what you're kind of forced into, and then it literally comes down to, well, you do it or you die, you know, so you just have to kind of live up to the challenge.
And that's why I actually kind of like, they keep it kind of subtle, but I really enjoyed the relationship between Violet and her mother, because as horrible as they try to make her mom seem, that like, you know, why would you do that to your kid? She believed in Violet all along, that she was meant to be on the front lines. Yeah. Like, clearly, she was like, no, my daughter will not be a scribe. Like, none of my kids are meant to be scribes. They're meant to, you know, be out there and fight. So I just thought that was so interesting. She was destined to be a writer, according to her mother, who, you know, has saw it in her all along. And, you know, I mean, let's be honest.
Not just a
she
writer,
hoped for the
but
best.
the writer.
Yes. Yeah. I think my like key moment of the book, like minus, of course, like I was very interested in the relationship build between Xaden and Violet, but I just loved the dragons. I really did.
So, okay, so yes, let's talk about that. I'm glad you said that.
I
I love Taryn and Andarna and the juxtaposition between the two, like this old curmudgeon-y dragon and then this young.
That's how I saw it too.
Like
La la la.
Yeah, rising up. Like it was just
the way
perfect.
that
It was just so
she was portrayed
perfect.
in the audiobook was really
It was
really
she
cute.
Was just so cute.
Because you just imagine this tiny little gold thing just like cause mischief and da-da-da. I like it's weird. Like I imagine that as like my 3-year-old, you know, like that, like my little 3-year-old with the curly blonde bouncy hair, just like da-da-da-da-da.
I pictured the same, and she's like, I'm tired. I gotta take a nap now. Used up way too much power.
Right. No, I know. And then I love Taryn like that. Like you think he's gonna be this fierce, you know, maybe a tough dragon, which he is, but then he's so soft also. And like his relationship and protective. And then his relationship with Sagail is also like really beautiful.
I do like that was our introduction to intimacy in the book, though.
Right, Sagail and Taryn.
Yeah,
I know.
Like, because they're mating, like the two of them have like frustrations. I'm like,
I know.
Like, wait a minute, is this really happening? I think I was curling my hair when the scene first happened, and I'm like,
you're like, dragons? What is happening here? What is going on?
They're using the word mating awful lot.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, I know.
That was the introduction to the sex scenes in Fourth Wing. So I was like, okay, well, we're going to start with dragons and work our way up.
Like, for people who haven't read this book, and if they're, like, listening, they're like, oh, my, what is this book? This sounds insane. But once you start reading it, like, you just it makes sense, and it's not weird, which I kind of think is, like, the idea of fantasy and, like, romantasy, that, like, it seems daunting and it seems scary from afar, but, like, dip your toe in and, like...
lean in.
Yeah, lean in.
Lean into it.
It eases your relationship, too, of, like, the idea of Violet and Xaden. Like, they almost seem like reluctant lovers at start. Like, I'm not supposed to love you. Like, clearly I'm not. Like, we were destined to hate each other, but I can't resist you.
Enemies to lovers trope.
Like, we're pulled in together by our dragons and by fate, and it was meant to be.
Yes, friends to lovers.
Friends to lovers, close proximity.
Or enemies to lovers, too. All of that fun stuff. Yeah, so she hits a lot of tropes. There's definitely cliches in here, but like I didn't mind them. maybe
for
because it was
sure.
also like new to me.
Yeah. And I was envisioning Xaden as quite the spicy character.
Oh yeah,
You know, like she was like, I can't resist him. Those abs.
I know.
I'm like, I know, right? And I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know what
Have
he
you guys
looks
seen any of the
like the art.
like the
Yes.
fan art
Oh my
of
God.
what
It's so
they-
good looking. I'm like, make a show, do it.
I know.
And I think they
please.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
they
think
are.
it's supposed to be. I don't know if it's Netflix or whatever, but
Yeah.
I believe it's in the works.
Yes.
But
at
yeah,
some
so I
point.
really liked. We were talking about family dynamics. So yes, the dynamic with her parents, but also let's talk about the dynamic with her and her sister.
Loved it.
I love Mira.
It made me cry many times. 'Cause
yeah.
with having a sister 7 years older than me, it reminded me so much of, you know, my sister and I. It's
I know.
crazy.
And that bond continues into the next two books.
Yeah.
I like forget where this ends, so I like don't want to say anything.
Sure.
But you got to keep reading.
Yes.
Wait. So we can go into spoilers. Okay. Spoiler ahead. This book ends with Brennan still alive.
Yeah. Did not see that coming.
So that's what I was gonna ask
Did not
you.
see it at all. Just pictured and
Huge cliffhanger.
Yes.
I remember when I listened to it, I was like, I think I like went back. I was like, wait, did I just hear that? I think I re-listened to it like
Yeah.
3 times to make sure I was like,
I
wait,
loved it.
huh?
I
What?
loved it so much. It like really made me like, okay, you got me. Was on the fence halfway through this book of whether I was going to continue with this series. Absolutely will continue because, it adds a whole layer. I did not
wait
see.
till you see
did
the
you guys-
cliffhanger of the second one.
Did you guys see?
Just wait.
I
Just
know,
wait.
I know we're jumping around a lot, but
Yeah.
there's so much to cover in a 22-hour book.
know.
There's so
Oh.
much to cover. But I did not see the betrayal coming.
With Dane
with like
or Xaden?
with Xaden like being part of like this
Oh, the rebellion?
for
Oh,
sure. Like
yeah.
like you thought that he was fully committed when he takes all those lashes for the kids, but nope, it was just to save them so he can continue doing what he was doing. But I like that it makes Violet question everything, like about herself, about the entire mission, like is what she's been fighting for like the good guys or not, like it adds some perspective to it.
Oh, and there's so much more to unpack in books 2 and 3. I
feel like
that's why I didn't even realize what you were talking about.
Just
Because
the
I was
tip
like,
of the iceberg
Dane?
I'm going in.
Yeah, because the only betrayal I'm remembering is Dane, but that's because I know what happens later.
I never liked Dane.
I was just gonna say
From
it's
the
just talking about
beginning,
Dane.
like,
I'm not a fan of Dane.
It makes you like want to
Ugh.
like him in like this like the first like 5 minutes of like best friends, like he always
and you know
has
that's
her
not
back.
going to end well.
No,
it never
No.
goes well.
yeah.
yeah,
Like,
not a fan
Violet,
of
we
Dane.
were meant to be together. It's like no,
No, and I don't like that he like didn't have faith in her.
never.
Like he never.
You're gonna die.
Yes, like he always was like he was protective in a way that's like not healthy.
Self-serving.
Yes, whereas
Yeah.
Xaden
Yes.
is protective of her, but is like you can do it.
Yeah, like I meant to marry you, so can you stay alive?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just like I don't know. And then
That on
do you
a
get
Hallmark
into
card.
yeah. What about
Valentine's Day next year. There we go.
do they get into Colonel Atos in this book, or is that later? Like all the Colonel Atos, Dane's dad is Dane's dad. in this?
He roughly comes in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he comes
Yeah.
back too.
And he just like
He's the
despises
worst.
Xaden. So yeah, I mean everyone despises Xaden.
I know.
He's meant to be despised.
Yeah.
The misunderstood bad boy.
What else do we have? Oh, do you guys think Xaden is really the best choice for Violet?
Yeah.
Best choice for me. He's the most entertaining. I say go for it because every time, like, you get excited when like chapters come up and the characters that you want to listen to or read about come up. Like every time the two of them were alone in a room, I was like, here we go.
Right.
What happens now? It doesn't need to be anything spicy, but just I know something's gonna go on.
No, that's true. That's true.
They
You
were
too, Kate?
they're fun
lightning
to follow.
strikes.
Lightning
A
strikes.
lot of lightning strikes.
Oh yeah. I also love the friendships. I don't think we really dug into that much. Like Rhiannon.
Yeah.
I love Rhiannon and Violet's friendship, and I love that it started like at the parapet, and then it like continued throughout the whole book. And then
Time out real quick.
Yeah.
Did anyone else just anytime you see the word parapet, you just think of like Hamilton? Because
No.
there's like one line and one of there's
which one?
No, there's one line in one of the songs where he's like, "Oh, the parapet." But it's like during one of the dual things. I don't know.
No,
Okay,
I had to like
never
Google
mind.
it though because I like couldn't visualize what they were
It's
talking
like a
about. I had to like
bridge
Google it.
thing.
Yeah.
But
I'm
no,
like, how's
there's
it
in one of the
working?
Hamilton songs they say that word. So every time I would hear it, I would just like Hamilton.
Well, even
That's just the way my brain works, you know.
well, even though it's fantasy, you can't help but like put yourself in the shoes of like, how would I do in that situation? I'd be like, nope, dead first 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
You would like to think you were one of the people that survived, but I'm like, oh no.
It's even like
Yeah.
so. My husband and I watched Survivor, and
Yeah.
even I like he would ask me, "Oh, do you think it would?" I was like, "No, I would not be able to do any of these challenges. I would be done and like voted out in the first because I would be useless to anyone." And he's like, "Oh, give yourself credit." I'm like, "No." And then I heard this stuff. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'd be dead within the first 2 minutes." Like, nope.
I don't know. I think you rise to the occasion. I think you would rise to the occasion. I don't
hope,
know.
right? You
Would you say?
hope.
Yeah, or you hope. Yeah, that's true. You hope
know?
you, hope you don't die right
Yeah.
away. Yeah, I get what you're saying though. And in that point, I'm like, maybe I'd be a better scribe. But I even like in this book that like the scribes are so important too. Like her dad was a
Yes.
scribe, and like he is the one that like warned her of everything that's happening.
And I
and all of
like
that.
that she used her so-called like scribe training to get her as far as she did by like poisoning others and give herself a one-up like that.
Oh,
is,
yeah, so
like,
what'd you think of that? You thought it was-
like while like on the surface level you think like that's cheating. No, that's survival. Like
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
had to
You gotta do what
survive,
you gotta
and
do.
she
And she did.
and she didn't up until one point. For the longest time, she made it a conscious effort to not kill anyone. But oh my gosh, I am glad she killed who she did. Everyone hated Jack Barlow.
Oh, yeah.
I hated that character, but you had to. It, like, again, not to try to compare series, but it
Yeah.
gave me Draco Malfoy vibes, but
Yeah.
10 times worse.
Wait, should we spoil it for
10 times
her,
worse.
Kate? Should we spoil it for her?
No.
He comes back.
Oh, Kate said no, but
Dun,
you know
dun,
what?
dun.
I'm kind of glad he comes back because
Dun,
I
dun,
want to. I
dun.
want to know. I don't know why. I don't know how. You know what I also like about the fantasy world though is anything can happen.
Yeah, it turns a little Game of Thrones
I
a
will
little bit.
Yeah,
A
and
little bit.
I will say that is something that I kind of do like about fantasy is that like it ain't over till it's over because like poof something can happen where they're like blah 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 and like
Yeah.
they come back
It's like,
and like
oh wait, never mind, because there's this magical creature land
Yes.
thing, and that this happened. They do this. They get struck by lightning. They drink a potion, and there's this magical
yes,
creature, and
Yeah.
therefore they're
emphasis
back.
on the potion because
Yeah.
that
And it
always
just-
seems to come about in
Well,
some
and I
sort
don't-
of fantasy world.
Yeah.
And like,
Or did you
oh, they
find
sprinkle
yourself,
this on them, and then they're
Yeah.
back. Like,
Or did you
I
find
do like
yourselves
that.
like Googling stuff? Like so I like
No.
was like not what happened. I mean like the characters. Like I was like I've heard
oh,
of a
yeah,
griffin
yeah.
or like a wyvern.
Big time.
So this was my first time with fantasy, right? So I haven't now that I've read more fantasies, like wyvern come into fantasy a lot, griffins come into fantasy.
Yes.
But I didn't know what a wyvern was. Like I knew a dragon, but then I had to Google what is a wyvern, and it's like, oh, a dragon with only 2 legs or
Yes.
whatever. So that was all new to me too. Or like a griffin. Like what is
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
thing?
Well, even throughout the whole series, I was Googling like, okay, who belongs to who and who does what, and I was kind of
you need,
like
the Empyrean Fantasy Dictionary.
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
Which
I needed a little bit of
exists,
a
yeah.
glossary and
Yeah.
a table of contents of like who does who
Yeah.
who is who
No,
does
that-
what,
that-
who has what.
was fun.
Just so I could
Yeah.
keep track of everyone and everything.
Yes,
and
'cause it
what all
does
the
get-
different
it
color
does
dragons
get
mean and all
overwhelming.
that. Yeah.
And if you buy the book, I think there is a glossary.
not
Again,
surprised.
I have the fourth. I have Fourth Wing. I think I don't remember. Like it's been a while. I know I own Onyx Storm because I know it has like the dragons on the splayed
On the
edges
spine.
or whatever. But I think there is a glossary in it to
I'm
like
not surprised.
to help.
And it makes
'cause
sense.
It is confusing.
I will say, audiobook me sometimes just kind of rolls with it. So at one point you're like, blah blah blah, blah with the overlord, blah 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 here, blah, and then they die, and I'm like, wait, what? and then I have to rewind.
Yeah, I've done that too. Yeah, I've done that too. Like you think you're on.
You're like, wait a second.
Yeah, I
You
missed.
can't just kind of skim that over.
No, you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention.
Maybe that's a testament to my attention span because you could go a half hour through Frida and still follow what she's got going on because she's.
That's true. Yeah, this is no
You can
Frida.
zone out for a
So
second
that could
and then you're
that
back
could be a
in. You're like,
fault
oh
of-
wait.
that could be a fault of mine. But I will say this does draw you in. I am very like I will see before I go to any other fantasy book. We'll continue with this series because it did earn my attention. It earned
Okay.
it
I like it.
wholeheartedly.
Which is funny. You're at 1. I've only read the first 2, and
Yeah.
she's done all 3 so far.
Oh yeah, they're so good.
I've had Onyx Storm in my library. That's the 3rd one since a year ago. But I've heard so many, like when it first came out, so
Yeah.
many people were like, I was lost in the first 15 chapters. So like that intimidated me.
Sure.
And I'm like, I need to free up my TBR, like no more Libby holds. I need to like
through this.
dedicate my mental space to recapping Fourth Wing and Iron Flight and just kind of like freeing up the brain so that way I can put my focus on it. And I haven't gotten there in my own personal life to be
Yeah,
able to dedicate
sure.
myself to it.
Well, I think
So-
now, like, you kind of have the recap here. Now you just need a quick, like, 10-minute Iron Flame recap and you're ready.
Yeah, and then I'll be good to. Although no, I just had another Libby hole pop up this morning. So.
Come on, Kate.
They're evergreen.
I'm sorry. Well, I have a couple that I've been waiting like months on, and they're now just coming up. I'm like, huh.
Well, Rach, since you've read all 3, do you have a favorite? Don't
Oh,
don't without spoilers.
Yeah, no,
do
I
you have a
won't. I won't.
favorite?
I think it's got to be the first one.
Yeah?
But I'm usually like the first one kind of girl. Like even like Harry Potter, we talked about. Like I feel like you can't beat Sorcerer's Stone. Like even the movie.
Oh, I don't
the-
know. Goblet of Fire is my favorite.
Really?
Number 4, yeah.
See, I'm
Favorite book and favorite movie.
okay.
Funny enough, for me,
I'm usually at first.
my least favorite movie is my favorite book of Harry Potter, which is Order of the Phoenix.
Oh, interesting.
It was the longest one. I felt like it was just. It
That's
was
my least
it
favorite
was-
book and movie.
Like I get
did
that.
not like the
I
fifth one.
understand that because the
Yeah.
movie was so boring, but I felt like because the book was so long, it left out so many key things that I think would have been so needed. But that's why, like, I'm a little. If I was a director of Fourth Wing to make it a movie or a series, I would be so intimidated. There are
Yeah.
so many, not only special effects that have to go into this, but details and just this
They
is going to
have to
be
do
a
it as a
bear of a
series.
series or show.
Yeah.
It really, like, the bar is going to be so. I mean, Harry Potter, of course, but, you know, that was like. What, they started in 2000. Now with so much
Yeah.
CGI effects,
I
makeup,
know.
there's gonna be the bar is set so high.
I think they got to do a series. I feel like there's
Well, I
just
feel
too
like
much
Game
in
of
it.
Thrones
The
just really
plan.
kind of set the standard
That
for
too. Yeah.
for
That
that
too.
too,
Yeah.
because
and the genre.
because you
And
take
there's
these
a-
monster books and then be able to create this whole
And there's a
world.
battle scene every 10 seconds.
Yeah,
in this
so,
Yeah.
I mean, Game of Thrones has proven that it can be done, but like you got to make sure you're with the right company, production company, and the people
Yeah.
with the money, because that's going to
it's gonna
cost a
be
pretty
an
penny
expensive filming.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
for sure.
And
I
but
will
yeah,
s-
it can be done, but will it be done well?
Yeah,
I will say though, casting would be really fun because they're gonna pick the most gorgeous people.
I
to
know.
play. Like, you know, I'm like looking forward to seeing what they do with Violet's hair because her hair is a staple. It's unique. It's beautiful, and I love
the tattoos and stuff.
Yeah.
the relics.
Absolutely. I'm like just looking forward to who they cast when they, because you know that this is going to be one of the best. It's going to be so good. I
Yeah.
just already know it's going to be so good. Hopefully, you know.
Yeah.
But yes, the more we talk about it, clearly I was a little bit more interested than I let on because, you know, I'm just like, oh my God, and then that's what happened, you know? So
Well, I love it. This is what I was
yeah.
hoping would happen. So
Yeah.
this is like perfect case scenario.
Yeah.
I think we got ourselves another fantasy fan there, Kate.
Good.
Yeah, and Rach, like, it helped, like, dive you into a whole new world. There's a book, there's an author coming to Central New York this spring
Yes.
that has a fantasy book that you gave 5 stars recently.
Yes. So TJ Kloon is coming as part of the Friends of Central. What
you
is it
rec-
called? It's Focal for the
Yeah,
Onondaga
yeah,
County
yeah.
Libraries. Friends of, I forget what it stands for, but Focal.
Central Public Library.
There you go.
Like,
Something like that.
But have you recommended it to Kate yet?
I don't know if I have.
'Cause Kate loves
House on the
fantasy.
Cerulean Sea. It's kind of more like magical realism when I was like looking up the genre, because it's like it has magical creatures, but there's like a lot of it's based in like almost like present day. Like it feels a little too close to home. You'll know what I mean if you read it.
Okay.
Incredible book. So I am really excited for him to be coming.
Also
and
beautiful
then,
cover art.
Yes, and beautiful cover art.
What is it called?
House in the Cerulean Sea, I
House in
think,
the
or House on the Cerulean Sea.
Check it out on the Goodreads because
Yeah,
I
it's
know,
okay.
I know
There it
you
is.
gave it a really good review.
Yeah, it was so good. And now, and there's a second. I'm reading the second one right now.
I see it. Place hold.
Um,
Place hold.
yeah,
About a
it's a
2-week
good
wait. Not bad.
And while we're talking about Focal, Jodie Cantor is also coming, New York Times investigative reporter who broke the Harvey Weinstein scandal. And I'm actually going to be introducing her for when
Yes.
she comes next month. So we'll be reading that book too. So we have a lot of fun stuff on the
and
horizon.
we can't promote this series enough. It's such an awesome thing that gets put on, and I just love all things. To
Did
be
you
able
hear
To...
Abby Jimenez is coming this
See?
fall?
They just keep building.
Their next,
They just
yeah,
keep building.
they just
on
announced
it.
their next season.
it's
We'll have
so
to have
good.
Sarah back on.
Excited.
We'll have to have Sarah back on to talk about the next season. But yeah, you're right. They
Yeah.
just put out that for next year. So really cool that we have this right here in Syracuse.
And speaking of we have an announcement to make. This will be my final episode for now of Chapter 9 Book Club. I am leaving News Channel 9 very soon, and it is bittersweet. After almost a decade here with Channel 9, 8 years, I am leaving, and for now I will be passing on my co-hosting duty to Kate. Woohoo! And I
Big
know
shoes to fill.
I know. Oh, stop! No, I know this will be an awesome thing, and Rachel and I are in talks, and I would love to help, like, fill in where I can.
Yes.
And my time reading is certainly not over. We obviously started Chapter 9 Book Club over our love of books, and Kate, Rachel, and I would just talk for fun for hours about the newest audiobook that we downloaded to our Libby, and book and hardcovers, and this won't be the last of me, I'm sure.
No.
But it is definitely bittersweet because over the last almost June will be a year that we started this, which is hard to think about because we've done so much in the meantime.
I know.
Talked about a lot of
Well,
books.
it won't be the same without you. So it's tough for Chapter 9. But yeah, we'll have you on. You'll be our regular guest, I hope.
I hope so too. Yeah, it'll be fun. But
You're our
nat-
murder mystery gal.
It's
True.
and
You're
Frida.
and
Frida, our
naturally,
Frida gal.
I leave you off with our next book, which is in Chrissy fashion. When I Kill You by B.A.
And we'll be back. Yeah.
I will say this was a book that Rachel was able to snag because it's a brand new book that came out in February of 2026. I'm like, oh gosh, Rach, we have so much on our Chibi Read. Do we have to read a book that hasn't even come out yet? She said, I really think you're going to like it. It's the genre that you love. Oh my goodness. I am obsessed with this book.
It's a good one. It's a really good one. So Kate's got to read this one. And I'm hoping
And
too.
you'll read it so fast.
Yeah, you'll
So
read it very fast.
It's
Okay, good.
It is a quick read, but it's just like I think it's like 6-page chapters. So
Yeah,
you're going to
it's
be
so good.
saying just one more chapter 7
Say
times.
no more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the
Love that.
chapters go by so fast, and it's a dual time read. I'll just go through it. Psychological thriller, as we know, that follows a woman named Nell Masters who's convinced she's being stalked. The story unfolds through 2 alternating timelines, exploring a dangerous obsession from her past that resurfaces in her present life. So you're just wondering throughout the entire book who is stalking her, because
Yeah.
sometimes there's point of views from the stalker.
Yeah, it's really.
They're like, oh, it's not going to matter when I kill you.
Yeah.
Like, wait.
It's so
Oh
funny.
my goodness.
And how they do it is
It is
really
amusing.
funny.
It gets
so-
silly.
Yeah, and I'll say with this part, I had read Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris, and it was such a great read. So I had reached out to the publisher, and they connected us. So we also might be. I probably shouldn't tease this because it didn't happen yet, but I'm hoping it happens.
It's a pipe dream.
It's a pipe dream, but we
Yeah.
might get an interview with B.A. Paris. So I'm working on it. She is in London, so we're trying to like figure out how to do that. But we got John
Hey,
Mars
yeah, weird
in
things that
London,
happen.
so hopefully that comes to be. But yeah, so join us for When I Kill You. That's our next read. And again, just a big thank you to Chrissy for all your hard work with Chapter 9. It will not be the same without you. And we love you, and we hope you come back as our guest whenever you want.
Absolutely. Would happily talk about books anytime.
Yay.
Download the WSYR Plus app on your TV to stream News Channel 9 for free. Just go to your smart TV, search WSYR Plus in the App Store, and download to start streaming today.